Seven deadly sins, envy continued. We're at change your habits. We went through what envy was, discontentment and jealousy of what other people's have. You feel it's unjust that they have it, they don't deserve it, or you feel inadequate, so you want to blame others for your inadequacies. Deadly because it leads to other sins. So here we go. Let's finish it up with how to change your habits of envy. Modern life, especially social media, can be a major trigger for envy. Changing how you interact with these platforms can make a significant difference. Limit social media exposure. Social media also presents a highly curated version of people's lives. Reducing the time you spend on these platforms can limit your exposure to comparisons that fuel envy. Focus on your own goals instead of looking at what others are doing. Focus your energy on your own personal growth and goals. Work towards becoming a better version of yourself rather than trying to be like someone else. Unless it's your mentor or someone you look up to that's living a good moral life, then you do want to emulate them and be like them. Give away what you wish you had. This is a radical act against envy. If you envy someone's talent, money, or good fortune, actively bless others in a similar way. Be generous. If you envy a person's wealth, practice generosity by giving to others, even in small ways, which is the most selfish thing you can do. People think they're going to get somewhere being greedy and taking everything. Doesn't get them anywhere. If you want to be selfish and make yourself rich and have the greatest life you could do, best thing you could do is give of yourself and donate your money and your resources and your gifts and volunteer and help people. Share your skills. If you envy someone's talents, use them to share your own gifts to help others. This turns a focus on what you don't have into an act of self-giving, which is the opposite of envy. The punishment of being immersed in freezing water for the sin of envy is a concept redonti allegaris purgatorio, not the practice of the historical church. In this work, the souls of the envious are forced to stand in freezing water while their eyes are sewn shut with water, and they find no joy in seeing the good fortune of others. The punishment is meant to mirror the sin. Their cold resentment and grief over others' happiness is represented by the frigid water. While no modern legal system uses a specific form of torture, there are analogous punishments and practices that aim to inflict severe physical and psychological trauma related to cold water. Medical and psychological equivalents: hypothermia and cold water shock. Medically, immersion in freezing water can cause death in minutes. The initial cold shock can lead to involuntary gasping, hyperventilation, and increased heart rate, which can lead to a heart attack. Prolonged exposure creates hypothermia, which affects brain function and motor skills, leading to disorientation and eventually unconsciousness and death. When I was 15, I went with a church group on a hike in the Sierra Madre Mountains in California. We hiked for a week on the John Muir Trail. And the first night I wanted to jump in the lake to take a bath real quick, and we touched the water and everyone else said, no way, it's too cold. So I stripped down on my boxers and I jumped in. And I was losing my breath. I was like, I was running the show. And I jumped down. So yeah, I guess I could have had a heart attack then. I didn't know that. Anyway, waterboarding. This is a modern form of torture where a person is immobilized and water is poured over a cloth covered in their face. This creates a terrifying sensation of drowning, which is psychologically and physically debilitating. While it doesn't use freezing water for temperature, it harnesses the terror of drowning in water-based physical torment, which aligns with the punitive nature of the cold water punishment. Metamorphical equivalence. In a metamorphical sense, the modern equivalent of punishment could be social or psychological isolation. Just as the envious souls in Dante's Purgatorio were cut off from seeing the good in the world, a modern person who gives in to envy might become socially isolated and emotionally cold. online shaming and cancel culture. The public spectacle of being canceled or subject to relentless online shaming can be seen as a form of social and psychological torture. These kinds of attacks are often fueled by envy or resentment, and it seeks to isolate and freeze out the target from their social and professional circle. In essence, the punishment of being frozen in freezing water reflects the spiritual coldness of envy. The modern equivalents, both physical and metamorphical, similarly seek to inflict a deep, chilling torment that goes beyond mere physical pain. That will conclude envy. That's 3 of 7 deadly sins. God bless.